शांति ब्रह्म शांति सर्वतो शांति शांतिरेव शांति सा शांतिरेति यतो यतः समीहसे ततो भयं कुरु शन्दः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयं नः पशुभ्यः विश्वानि देव सवितृदुरितानि परासुभ जगद्भद्रं तन्न आसुभ ओम शांति 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 सुशांतिर्भवतु. On the occasion of the 55th death anniversary of the Bhavan's founder president Kulpati Dr. K. M. Munshiji, I welcome you all and speaker Dr. Uma Shankar, who will deliver a lecture today on practical application of Vedanta. Today we pay heartfelt tributes to K. M. Munshiji on his 55th death anniversary, the visionary founder of Bharati Vidya Bhavan. He was a statesman, literature and the architect of Bharati Vidya Bhavan, writer who dedicated his life to protecting Indian culture and education. We remember his immense contributions to our nation and his timeless legacy. Now I request Dr. Sriram Iyer, Deputy Director, Bhavan's PG and Research Department, to introduce the speaker. It is indeed welcome you, Madam, and introduce you to our viewers today. Dr. Uma Shankar, the Director Academics at the South Indian Education Society, Mumbai, is a teacher, scholar, and an educator of international faith. With an experience of over several decades in the field of teaching Indian philosophy, which is the subject of her expertise, she is the former principal of the SAS College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Science, the institution which flourished during her stint as the principal. Her contributions to the field of academics were recognized and she was awarded prestigious awards such as Padma Shri Nimbalkar Yoga Mitra Award for her promotion of yogic and spiritual values, as well as the prestigious Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Distinguished Academic Leadership Award for her contribution to lifetime commitment to education. She has been the former chairperson of the Board of Studies in Logic and Philosophy, as well as a member of the Academic Council, BUTR, Research Recognition Committee, RRC, and Faculty of Arts at the Mumbai University. Under her mentorship, 17 students have secured their PhD degrees and 5 have received the MPhil. Since the year 1993, she has been passionately teaching philosophy and psychology to undergraduate students at the SAS College. Later, for over 15 years, she brought the profound truths of Advaita Vedanta to postgraduate students at the University of Mumbai. A prolific thinker, Dr. Uma Shankar has over 20 publications to her credit and has presented groundbreaking papers on themes such as religion and spirituality, Shaiva and Vaishnava mysticism, women mystics of India, yoga philosophy, bioethics, spirituality and management, and the bridge between science and religion. Her international academic journey is as inspiring as her ideas, and she has presented papers at various conferences such as the World Philosophy Congress held in Athens in the year 2013, the Social Science Research Forum in Istanbul, and the International Yoga Day Conference hosted by the ICCR at New York in the year 2018. To have Dr. Uma Shankar to address you all in this very important day on a most relevant topic, which discusses the practical application or the relevance of Vedanta in our daily life. Without taking much of your time, I request Madam to start her much awaited lecture. Once again, welcome and namaskar.
Namaskaram. It's my honor and privilege to offer this talk as a homage to Dr. Munshiji, the founder president of Bharti Vidya Bhavan. Almost Munshiji was synonym to Bharti Vidya Bhavan, and his contribution is absolutely immense. Thank you, Hitesh Deveji, for your soulful prayer, and Sriram for introducing me. Yes, as a Vedantin and as a subject which is today so relevant, there are ideas that people think is Advaita Vedanta in particular. Is it a very age old system of thought? And whether it can have any relevance today and what the youth are going to look at it. Though in between we do recall in 1902 and a little later how Swami Vivekananda left the scene calling it the practical Vedanta and presented it very deeply. A lot of ideas which Shankara had left it in a much condensed manner was put it in practice. Again, another century has passed by, and today we still wonder, is Vedanta practical at all, and how well we can talk about it. Shankara was very clear about it. The fundamentals of Vedanta cannot be changed and we cannot alter it, nor can we compromise it. It is not meant for it. To him, that there is only one reality is very clear. Brahman alone is real. And the entire world that we are talking about it through the lens of Vedanta, it is called as it is appearance or it is very illusory. So we are not able to understand why there is only one principle, and that very one principle is alone existing, unifying everything else. When we do not understand this concept of Brahman, and then we start wondering, can there be only one reality when otherwise we are able to see so much of reality around us? Are they not real? Is not the world real? Is not the plants real? Are not the people are real? No, is not this very system, the PC that I'm working on, which is real? Shankara doesn't have those confusions at all in his mind, and that is what he's trying to deliver us also. Everything has got a position or understanding of reality, and it all depends from where do we perceive it. From the perspective is what matters. In a short while, I'm not getting into the crux or the ontological or the metaphysical realm of what Advaita Vedanta stands for. Yes, very brilliantly Shankara said, Shlokeena pravakshami sara grantha kotibihi Brahman satyam jagat mithya jivo brahmaiva na apara. In just half a verse, I can tell you the entire essence of Koti Grantha. And what is it, half a sentence? Brahman Satya Ji. The Brahman is Satya, nothing else. Jagat is a mithya. The mithya doesn't mean it is absolutely non-existing. It has got a different sense of reality. It is an adhyasa. It is superimposed. It is a projection. It is a manifestation of the Brahman. And therefore the Jiva and the Brahman is na apara. There's nothing, no difference between the two. But how do we understand that one which are all in front of me is also real, and also I need to give that kind of understanding to it. I'm just in a short while. I'm just splitting into two parts of it. My talk. One, Shankara himself has given a practical solution to this. If ontological reality is Brahman, and the method for which reaching the Brahman sadhana is only jnana, and not that bhakti and karma that he ever demeaned it or put it, belittled it, not at all. That is also a misconception. But at the same time, he said that in order to reach or get into that particular state, one can have a sadhana for it. For everything, we need a practice, isn't it? Can we achieve anything, whether it is cycling, whether it is driving, whether it is cooking, whether it's swimming, or whether even an oratory skill for that matter. For everything, we need a little amount of practice. Sadhana is required. And what is it sadhana comprises of? Shankara did not leave a question to us and leave and ask us to think about it. He himself made it very clear. in the spiritual world, if you are getting into that reality, if you want to go into that supreme reality, that tattva, that understanding of what Brahman is, what is the tattvamasi, how do I get to that aham brahmasmi state, to that ontological reality, he says that we can have sadhana chatushtaya. Popularly spoken about to many of the people, whether writers, thinkers, in any of the Vedanta schools, samajams, orthodox and other kind of temples, and everywhere it is spoken about it. I want to make it very clear because for posterity, Vedanta has to convey certain meaning and relevance to it. And the first in the Sadhana Chatushtaya, he talks about it as to have Viveka, Viveka Buddhi. How do we get Viveka Buddhi and what is it Viveka Buddhi? Are we not having it? Could be a question in our minds. We have Viveka Buddhi, the very discriminative mind that starts rationalizing things and able to discern very clearly what is right, what is wrong, what is correct, what is incorrect, what is real and what is not real. In all that, you find extremely not, I wouldn't say it is difficult, but possible to reach the the state where I can continuously rationalize the things. And that is Viveka Buddhi. And Viveka Buddhi has to be, it is not an overnight one would get it into a Viveka Buddhi. We will not get it. It has to be experimented, it has to be exercised, it has to be engaged, it has to be continuously practiced. At all times, I should see that I am not taking a decision based on emotions. I'm not taking a decision out of whims and fancies. I'm not taking a decision because I need to please some people. Can I do that? And that is Viveka Buddhi. And every time my Viveka comes in the front, then I will not compromise. I will not shade away from anything that is, I will not have anything by which I will classify certain things. This is bad and therefore I will not do. This is good and therefore I want everybody to do it. This idea of making a compromise or being judgmental, being complaining, stereotypes, all of them will go away if man or woman starts first having Viveka Buddhi. The whole essence of Gita itself, what with the Vishada Yoga with which Arjuna started off with, Krishna wanted to harp on it only is, are you having using your Viveka Buddhi at the right time, Arjuna? Why have you faltered now when your uh, uh, the bow in your Gandiva, which was supposedly giving the pride to you, it is hanging just like an ornament in any other bookshelf. There are certain things. Are we ever making use of it? Where is your Viveka Buddhi that is lost? Where is the Sankhya Buddhi that you wanted to have it? So the first point is that Viveka Buddhi. Practically speaking, even today, maybe at the end of my talk, I will give you a kind of an anecdote I was coining today, a kind of a case study probably for the youth of today to actually look at it where Vedanta can be of extreme relevance in our world of today. It is full of challenges, which is full of contradictions, complexity, abstractness, all that we have. I've just created a kind of a case study which will drive home a lot of points for us. So, first in the Sadhana Chatushtaya, he talks about it as Viveka. Then he says we must have Vairagya. Vairagya is dispassion, Vairagya is detachment. It is not disinterestedness. It is not something that I'm fed up of it, therefore I do not want to get into it. No. Extremely, when you're involved in a sadhana, especially in a spiritual sadhana, I do not want any kind of an encompassment which would slow down my pace, which will allow me to, if the Viveka Buddhi is already there, that is why it is first, then eventually getting into a detachment or a dispassionate stage becomes very easy. Vairagya is can come when more and more we start going deeper or getting into our self inquiry. Different people looked at it very differently. Vairagya can come when I want to cut. It's not just controlling desires. There is also people misinterpret it as Krishna in the entire Gita told us that we should not have any desire. Krishna wasn't a fool of that kind. Krishna made it very clear. It is not the desire that you should not have it. Are you bound by the desire? Are you becoming a slave to the desire? Are you even having a caution about it? Are you watching it? Moment you think that it is creating so much of hurdles and a shield and an iron wall in front of you, drop the desire, curb the desire, destroy the desire. That is what he's trying to tell you. When you start doing it very consciously, Vairagya comes. Vairagya makes us stronger. Vairagya is not a path of escapism. Vairagya is a path where you are dispassionate, and the dispassion is resting on Viveka Buddhi. Because it is standing on Viveka Buddhi, there is so much of clarity in the thought, and then the thought and the speech and the action can come together. These have to align together. It cannot remain one behind the other or one compromising with the other. That is not possible. The very Viveka Buddhi, which is standing as a tall pillar, gets the support of this Vairagya. So Shankara in his Sadhana Chatushtaya, he started off with Viveka, moved on to Vairagya, then he brings a cluster of virtues that all of us must imbibe. If you are a spiritual seeker, then you have to take these cluster of virtues. How in Patanjali in his Yoga Satra talks about yama and niyamas, similarly of that kind Shankara talks about Tat Sampat. They are sampati. They are treasures. These are the ones that we need to imbibe, and practically it is possible. Shankara was not talking, which is absolutely not which cannot be practiced. It is not of that kind at all. So Shat Sampat, the six of them, he said is Sama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. In many contexts, these words keep echoing in our ears, whether through a shloka, whether through meditational practices, whether through other kind of japas, stotra in which we chant a lot of things. In all of them, these words come into it. Shankara called this is a crux of sadhana. It is. So sama is to have that uh, equanimity. You need to have the thought process which is under control. You need to control your senses and you need to control the mind. Both are important. Now, this sama and dhamma, which are control of senses and control of mind, is the initial small steps that we must start doing it. Now, senses, if you look at it, they are bahiranga. They are always getting outwardly. How are we going to control them? It is not that should I, like Gandhari, close my eyes so that I don't see at all. Then I will not allow my mouth. Are we going to do that? That is not the way to do it. It is when these senses are bahiranga, when you're looking at it, how much are we making that getting involved into our system, and thereby our mind is getting involved into it and coloring it, and thereby the likes and dislikes and the desire and association and bondage and vasanas and leading to karma. They all cascade with one another so beautifully. So one desire is not wrong, we may say that, but one desire doesn't remain as a desire. It multiplies. It is far more faster multiplying than the microbes in the cell of the body. So fast is it. So constantly when there is a desire and the desire keeps multiplying, it leads to a lot of associations, and the associations are not always pleasurable, they are also painful. And these bondages by which we are creating this can stop our pathway towards spirituality, can stop our understanding of where are we heading for. We get a very stunted progress. We remain there wherever we are in the ladder. So control of senses and control of mind can happen by over a period of time by practice. And Arjuna said in the Gita, Manayev, it is the mind is what is giving me so much of problem. Sanchalam hi mana Krishna. So much of chanchala is my mind. After all, what is mind? Mind is nothing but its thoughts. So it is chanchala by its very nature. It is constantly oscillating. Constantly it is moving. It is jumping. Sankara himself has used in the Shivananda Lahari that mind is like a monkey, he says. Mind is like a elephant which is at a rage and it is rut, it's moving. So very, aggressive it is. Our mind is like that when it is not under control. So we have got a lot of comparisons of this kind in the Vedantic small, small text by Shankara and the others. So therefore, the control of the mind is very important. So little bit of chanting, little bit of japa, little bit of a pilgrimage, little bit of involvement in certain satsanga, reading text, commentaries, writing, discussing, attending discourses, they all slow down the process of the anxiety and the oscillation. When Krishna was told by Arjuna, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, Krishna said, are you talking something new? I know that. Are you talking about the mind which is only now? Is it only your mind that is giving me problem? I know that. But abhyase tu kaunteya vairagya se tu uchyate. Krishna says that, but abhyasa and vairagya can solve the problem of your chanchala manas. So abhyasa and the vairagya that Shankara spoke about it as a second sadhana is so important, reiterating it many times in Gita also. So sama, dama, and let's take titiksha and uparati. So you have temperance and endurance. Temperance is that which is at all times to remain calm, irrespective of there is external things which are all either too much or too less. That kind of a golden mean. We are constantly we complaining other there's too much cold or it's too much heat. This is too spicy. That is not good. This is bad. That this drawing two opposites is so common. Whether it is food, places, people, relationships, objects, everything. So the temperance is the endurance will allow us to create that I can bear it, and that is so important. Endurance allows us to make us stronger. If little problems come, why should we cry? Can we tell ourselves that I can face the problem? I'm going to challenge it. I'm going to use all my strength in order to do that. That's your endurance. That is so important because the titiksha allows us. Some of the yoga schools have taken this titiksha very seriously. Like I can recall Swami Shivananda in his writings, or even to his disciples directly, he has said that if you cannot endure the heat which was there in Rishikesh, or if it is the too much of cold the early morning in Ganges to have a bath of it, he would say, do it. Practice endurance. That is so important in the sadhana. Just as one of the Shat Sampati itself, some of them have taken it so seriously. And Uparati is a temperance. Temperance was told even by the great Greek philosopher Plato as one of the greatest virtues. Why was it told temperance as so important? That we cannot get carried away by too strong emotions or things which are all taking us to two different opposite directions. Taking the golden mean, taking the middle path, bearing it, enduring it, can is a sadhana by itself, and one can have that. Shankara told us 1200 years ago that these are important for a spiritual seeker. Shraddha, faith. Where does one get faith from? Shraddha can be looked at it, faith in oneself. All of us have come with a purpose. All of us have got certain things to do before we kick the bucket. Constantly, Munshiji's life itself has stood as such a tall purpose for which he brought Bharti Vidya Bhavan in front of us. Purposeful life, and today he has left such a beautiful legacy for all of us. That purpose, that faith that one must have with oneself, and faith in the tradition, faith in the scriptures, faith in the Guru, all are important, and all of them are Shraddha only. Shankara made it very subtle. He said, yes, Shraddha, one must have faith in oneself. He belonged to a Guru Shishya Parampara. So he spoke about that. He also conveyed that in the scriptures. Scriptures spoke that so well, and therefore one must have that very, very clearly. The last is Samadhana. One must have a kind of contentment and tranquility of it so that constantly one doesn't crib about it by which we change the equilibrium of the body, mind, intellect stature. How are we going to do that? By just practice of lot of things where we can control the mind and the thoughts and the emotions in such a way. If sama, dhamma, titiksha, uparati is done, with faith one can get into that samadhana mode very easily. That tranquility, that kind of different kind of interpretations are used for these words. that one remains contented, one remains non complaining, one remains without being judgmental, one remains absolutely in terms of calmness, that kind of peace seeking, and not getting into pieces for every little things that happens in around us. That's samadhana. So Shankara spoke about viveka, vairagya, and shat sampat. In sadhana chatushtaya, these three are the steps that one must have, which can be practiced. Though he spoke 1200 years ago, it is so very relevant and so important and so significant that even today we can practice it, and we will definitely create some kind of a change in our spiritual journey. From somewhere, the transition to transformation can happen very easily. And we have to make an attempt in it. Practice alone can make man perfect. The fourth sadhana that he spoke about it in the Chatushtaya is the concept of mumukshu. A mumukshu is a very serious seeker. If we are a spiritual seeker, there has to be seriousness in it, commitment in it. One cannot simply say that it is a spiritual journey or my spiritual path or doing japa or doing a meditation is a time pass for me. It is not possible. One who has been seriously committed to it. And if we are doing it, and definitely the path will be very clear to us. The Guru will appear whenever the Shishya is ready. The scriptures will reveal itself the meaning. All the things that we read will project in front of us as though we are able to get the hang of it very clearly. Paul Coelho, in his very famous book, and people off quote it so easily, that the universe shall conspire. Yes, universe will conspire. If all my thoughts are collected seriously, all my urges, all my sense of seeking something is very, very serious and committed, I will get an answer from somewhere or the other. The universe will conspire and it will protect me whenever I'm looking forward to it. Mumukshu is a person who is seeking that kind of spiritual aspiration to become, to reach the state of Brahmanhood, who wants to have that Brahmanubhava, who is seeking that non dualistic experience, who wants to know what is that Brahman, what is that Atman Brahman Anubhava, that Aikya, Brahman Satya, Jiva, the Jagat is a Mithya, to understand that the Mumukshu has to constantly work towards that. He is the one. Shankara says, what is the nature of that Mumukshu is when a person is taking a bath in the river and he's trying to, suppose he's hypothetically, he's getting drowned and he's just waiting for one breath to come up and have his own breath. How breathless he would feel in order to get that one breath, in order to catch up with his life. That should be the kind of quest a mumukshu will have. Day and night, it must give him those sleepless nights that I must get what I'm seeking it. That's a kind of arise, awake, uttishta, jagrata, pratyavara nibodhita. What the Upanishad says, Vivekananda took it as a clarion call in his practical Vedanta. Arise, awake. You cannot slumber, you cannot sleep. Time is fleeting. Every moment it is already gone. And we are moving ahead. We can't take things lightly. And this idea of the time and tide waits for no man is a typical Vedantic concept, it is. And therefore, Shankara harps on it by giving his Sadhana Chatushtaya as a practical message, even for you'll find it in 21st century. I would also like to say that some of the messages of what I call it as Vedantic messages is few things to take home. Yeah, it's something that one has to follow it. Even today, Vedanta offers us some kind of Shankara spoke about sadhana chatushtaya, Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampata, Mumukshu. So we may still say the youth of today that it is already a concept we have, which is practical. We can make it to put it into practice. It is not impractical. Definitely, it can be put into practice. But at the same time, I am looking at Vedanta through the lens of a modern or the youth of today or the people of today who want to have it, because the topic is practical applications of Vedanta. I look at it, Vedanta teaches us that what is our true nature. People We've never asked this question to ourselves. We ask what the world is made up of. We go into the science of the world. We have reached the moon. We want to reach the Mars. We want to see how many spheres are there on the air in the atmosphere and how many are below the crust and how many layers are there under the ocean. We want to know everything about it, what the world is made up of. The whole Jagat, if you are going to call it as a mithya, which is a manifestation of Brahman. We are not discarding it. The world is necessary for us. Vedanta teaches us that our true nature is Atman, which is untouched by what is happening in the world. Mark this word whenever there is a problem in our life, and whenever there is a challenge in our lives. If we harp on this message of Vedanta, that I shall be untouched by the change and the chaos and the loss and the challenges and complexity and the mood swings of my boss and all the others and the deadlines that I have to meet, all of them are problems in front of me. At that time, can I hold on to the Vedantic principle that I am that supreme principle, Atman? I need not get bowed down by what is happening, but I will solve all of them because they are all part of the world. I'm going to do that. So, in an age where there is so much of anxiety and complexity and constant uncertainty that we have, apart from this emotional resilience that I'm talking about, we must also have that inner resilience that I can always come back. In this turbulent world, I'm not all alone and I can always master it. This is a very powerful thought that comes from Vedanta and that can anchor us. We can get anchored by that. So it could be like, you are not what happens to you. Actually, you are that stand as a witness to what has happened to you. The moment we step back and watch it, I'm a witness. Krishna himself says, I'm a Sakshi. So that Sakshi Bhava, when I have it, then what is happening to me, I'll be able to solve it very, very easily. But moment we get involved into it and part of it, then we get involved so much so that I'm not able to get out of that. The second thought that comes to me quickly is about, in the practical sense of it in today's world, is we must have a clarity on value based ethical life. Whether we like it or not, just because we cannot question or we look at somebody who is extremely corrupt, there are so many people around in the world whom we can put them as they are all so corrupt. And why are they enjoying? They have got a lot of wealth, they've got a lot of joy, they are globetrotting and all that. We need not look at the others, compare it. All of us have come with each one of us with our own purpose and our own goal. Ethical based life, Vedanta grounds it not in terms of fear, not in terms of any kind of social pressure or anything. Vedanta says that there is a unity of existence. That which is common to all of us is that supreme conscious principle. You know that one of the greatest Mahavakya that starts in the Upanishad is Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahman. Everything is that supreme principle. And therefore, that unity of experience, existence is so important. So, when we stop seeing it not as simply the other, then we are able to see that unity and live in the unity. It is not so easy. I'm not saying that it is very easy. The thought of ethicality will allow us to have a good governance. Ethicality can give us a good sense of leadership. It can have a sense of integrity in oneself. We will be more responsible to our own actions. We will stop the blame game. We will be less judgmental. We will be less complaining about things, about people, about events, about things that have happened in the past. How many of us take the past grudges with us so seriously for next 5 to 10 years and wasting our time and energy in it? Vedanta says very clearly, if at all you think you have got a lot of time and you want to have an ethical based life, you have decided and you're convinced, get into a service mode. Do service. And Vivekananda in his practical Vedanta made it very clear that Nara Seva is Narayana Seva. If you do seva to Nara, Nara is what human beings. You do service to poor people, service in the hospitals, service in leprosy homes, service in the old age home, service at home. There are our own people who are not well and we want to take care of them. Can we see divinity in all of them and do that seva? That very seva can become absolutely not by ego driven. I will do it and I'll get an award. I will get it. I'll be seen by somewhere as not of that kind, without any expectation. Again, let the Karmanyavadikaraste Mapaleshu Kadachana echo in our ears. So you will see that the ethical based life can give us clarity of not getting caught in the world which is systems, but we can always win over it very easily. The third thing today that we want is a lot of people are worried about mental health. A lot of people are worried about and talking about it in terms of mental wellness. And how do we understand people? How do we understand myself? Even our own thoughts and our own disposition, we are not able to understand. And if we ask others, we seek help. Nothing wrong in seeking help, right? But at the same time, to our own mental wellness and mental, what you call it as mental health, which is a popular word that we use it, Vedanta offers a deep sense of the psychology of mind. It has dwelled into it so much nicely, it has done it. It says that we make a distinction between what is manas, what is buddhi, and what is ahankara. My mind is only a thought process. My buddhi is giving me discerning the discriminative power it is, rational it is. My ahankara always comes in front of me, claiming that I have done everything. The moment I disown and I say that all this is happening because I got an opportunity to do it, I'm used as an agent to do it. That very change, what very beautifully Patanjali says in the Yoga Sutra is of Ishvara Pranidhana. It is Pranidhana. It is a total surrender unto an altar. The moment we do that, we detach from that obsessive feeling. We detach ourselves from the sense of hoarding and taking things. Not even a single person in this world, in the past or now, has ever taken even one morsel of rice or a penny to another world after dying. Nothing. We have come empty handed and we are going to go empty handed. We know that. Kabir talks about it, the great poets have spoken about it, but it has still not allowed us to continuously hoard wealth, hoard possessions. It is not that Vedanta is advocating from tomorrow do not should we not have a house, should I not have a sofa to sit, should I not, it's not talking about it. Can we detach ourselves and have it? Like a fakir who was sitting in his room, and he when a disciple came into his room and asked, is there no chair in this room, he asked. I said, you have to pull oneself and get it. Everything in this room that you are putting it is not mine. How can I ever claim that something is mine, being possessive of about it? All of us have come empty handed. Where can I ever call this chair is mine, this is mine? That is your ahankara. This world is mine, this house is mine, these children are mine. Everything we put it across with a single quote as mine. The modern therapy comes closer to the psychology of mind in Vedanta, where it says very clearly, you are not just your thoughts, you are much more than that. What is that more that I have? It is not, I am not the mind. Shankara says, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham. I am not the mind, I am not the Buddhi, I am not the Chitta. Name Jati Veda, Name Mrityu Shankar, Name Mata, Na Janma. I don't have any of that. Shankara was not telling lies. What he meant was, I know that I am that supreme consciousness. Here, all of us are intellectually understanding that I am not curbed by that small little thing, but I am that supreme consciousness. The fourth point that comes to my mind to apply it in the Vedantic way is the ecological sense of it, where the nature is consciousness, the harmony in nature and the harmony in consciousness can be together. Vedanta harps on it very clearly that it dissolves that human nature, man nature divide. Every single species, with the smallest ant to the biggest animal, a whale or an elephant or a human, in all of them there is divinity, there is consciousness. And we need to address it as it is a conscious principle. Nature is not just a resource by which we can just go on taking it up and strip it off. It is an expression of that same reality which is getting manifested in various forms. If this has been idea can take it up very seriously by the modern youth. It will encourage us to think more deeply when it comes to today what you talk about it as a sustainable living. The sustainable living or ecologically conscious living, as I can put it up more seriously. And then what happens is, the sense of aparigraha will come. The aparigraha, which yoga talks about it, Shankara uses it in other way. What is the aparigraha we can think of? I cannot own up a thing as mine own. It is just mine. Everything belongs to everybody. That doesn't mean that I can keep my door open and ask anybody to come and live in my house. Not of that kind. One need not dilute this idea, with a sense of a very antagonistic idea towards Vedanta. What it means by is, can I live at all times saying that I have all of them, but none of them are mine. I have it, but they are not mine because I have to drop it and go. I cannot carry with me wherever I go. It is not possible. So this environmental ethics, this ecological consciousness that we talk about it, they all become a spiritual responsibility in Vedanta. And that is so important for us because I'm not looking at it that tomorrow there must be a policy in it or there has to be a law in it and one has to follow it. But everything cannot be put into it as with a sense of, your wand in my hand and make everybody do it. It has to come from within, a sense of responsibility. If it is a river that I has to go for a bath, I must take responsibility that I do not contaminate the river with my detergent and soap and what not. Because the river is flowing, it is carrying a lot of silt and beautiful things from the age old mountains till it reaches it crosses so many plains, so many fields, and then moves to the ocean. So I must respect that river. So that therefore we worship water, we worship trees, we worship plants, we worship the mountain. That's why Krishna says in the Gita, the best of it I see it, Stavaranam, Himalaya, Jashanam, Masanam, Margashishoham, Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Among the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya. The best of it. How do you describe then Krishna as Krishna? Vedanta helps us so well. If you are able to see divinity in everything, if you are able to see excellence in everything, Yatyat Vibhuti Matsarvam, Srirma Dojitam Eva Va, Tatta Deva Vakachatvam, Mama Tejomsha Sambhavam, Krishna says. That excellency, that radiance, that brilliance, that consciousness, that supreme thing, that is me, Arjuna. You don't get carried away by anything else. So if all of us can even dwell some moment of it in this thought, what immediate action will happen is I will shed away some iota molecule of ego sense from my body, from my mind. I will feel much lighter. I will feel that I will be able to change, I will be able to face any kind of a challenge more easily, and that is what will happen. The fifth one I'm looking at it is work is worship. We must consistently work with the detachment, and that is a message of Vedanta. It is not just working with the detachment. Is not that I do certain things and I don't want to take the result. Result will come. Vedanta does not reject an action completely. Doesn't reject a result of an action also completely. Can the work be done sans ego? Can the work be done without having a kind of obsession with the result? Obsession with the kind of result. I want this only. By sowing a mango seed, I can have a mango tree, definitely. I will have mango fruits. But I cannot expect that particular taste of mango which is there in my mind. That is how every fruit of it can come. It is not in my hands. My job ended after watering it. The nature took care of it. If every action I'm able to look at it that way, then my action becomes karma yoga. That is nishkama karma. Vedanta preaches it, and it is in today's hyperactive, uncertain, anxious filled, competitive culture that we have. Work as worship, work with detachment, work with a sense of responsibility can be put it into practice. There can be more clarity towards work rather than we take it as stressful thing. We can seek purpose in every work that we do rather than taking it as either it is not giving me pleasure or it is giving me a lot of pressure. We need not look at it like that. Can we always look at it where how can I excel in the field where I am looking at it, rather than checking how much of anxious movements my boss is giving? That need not be looked into it. So in essence, what we are trying into it as in Vedanta is every time we are able to have that awareness, constantly being alert. We are all Jiva Jantu. We are all constantly having a purpose in it. So, Vedanta today, if you look at it with the relevance that we are seeking, it is not about renunciation of the world. And nobody ever recommends take an ochre robe and go to an Himalayan cave and sit down. That is the only way you can escape from this world. And no Vedantins talks about it like that. It is a choice given to you. So it is not renunciation of it. It is renunciation of ignorance. It is a renunciation of misinterpretation. It is a renunciation of misunderstanding. Vedanta powerfully says that clarity with that Viveka Buddhi, we can have awareness at any point of time. We need not have anxiety in it. We should take responsibility for our actions. We should not seek power and what little things that upset us that will not make us stronger at all. So that is important to it. So given sadhana chatushtaya, the traditional message of what Shankara talks about, Viveka Vairagya Shat Sampada Mumukshu, in today's world, what I thought of coining it, and I've given you 5 points on that. As I come to the close of it, I'm giving you a case study, which I think can be a very useful thing. Just to take home a point that you can think of, just coined in order to drive home a point. There's a girl, um, Ramya by name. She's a CEO. She's was a CEO of a company. It's a very fast growing technology, chasing the AI products and whatnot. Every modern ideas come, metrics come, lot of funding comes. Media visibility is important. Expansions are important. Targets have to be created. She was absolutely successful, reaching to the greatest height. But yet, sometime or the other inside, there was constantly pressure building up. Will I reach the next level? Will I be able to have enough, valuation? Will I get more money? Will I have a competition from outsider? Will somebody take it over? Sleepless nights of that kind. That's a fragile sense of self that will I constantly move ahead? Will I the competition with oneself? What will be my performance today? And suddenly, one fine morning, the market crashed for some reason. The investors pulled back their commitment, what they gave it. The project managers moved aside. And for a few months, the board meetings and all became very tense for her. Ramya wondered, what is happening to me? There's a lot of panic attacks. And one fine day, she was totally lost. Sleepless night was there earlier. Today, now, it's no sleep at all because everything is going down. She thought the whole company is crushing. She felt very small in front of the whole problem, and the problem is looming large in front of her. That's the day on way back to the office from the office home. She just dropped in at a place. She saw a board. Somebody is giving a talk on small weekly circles on Upanishads and Gita. She thought, for a mind which is so disturbed today, let me go and sit there. And she sat there. There was a teacher who was saying very openly, and one idea that came to her mind during the talk that he was doing it, that I'm not the doer alone. I'm not the one who has to be constantly taking up everything as a responsibility, yes, for all the action. But my true nature is I am awareness. I'm Atman. I'm Brahman. I am that supreme consciousness. Suddenly, slowly, she felt that if I am that supreme consciousness, I can hold on to that as my self identity. Then let me start looking at the problems in front of me. As I said some time back, few minutes back, that one must have that Sakshi Bhava. One has to step back in order to look at what we are seeing in front of us is not a problem. It's not an issue. It's a challenge. It will go. This too shall pass, we say. Yes, it will pass, provided I am ready to allow it to pass. But if I hold it, if I say my problem is alone the greatest problem in the world. Sometimes we say that even if I have a headache, we say that my headache is the greatest headache. Nobody else has got the other than this. We own it up like that, the problem and the pain and everything. So she did not abandon the responsibility. Ramya thought that this is the right time for me to step and check all the things that are all going wrong and I can put it back into it. When will you start doing that? Only when you step back and you realize that I'm going to work on it rather than I am the problem. All of us have problem. We have to ask the question, do I have a problem or am I the problem? Moment we start looking at it, the whole thing will start shifting. So the outcomes that come out of this, she stopped equating that with money. She stopped equating that with a self-worth. She knew that Shraddha, we spoke about it in Sadhana Chatushtaya, that faith she had in us, my decisions have been very supreme in the previous so many months and years. So let me once again take it without fear nor favor. Let me take more serious decisions along with my team. Together, let us look at the transparently. Let me apply my Viveka Buddhi in it. Let me have that Vairagya. So the Upanishadic lesson, the Vedantic classes that every week she started doing it, giving it, something surprised happened within few months. Ramya wondered if I have to go for the next board meeting, what would be the kind of tense feeling I may have, that steadiness that I have I lost it. Suddenly she found the team was ready to handhold her. The trust came in place of panic. Productivity came in place of anxiety and uncertainty. Within a year or so, she could get back the company stabilized. These kind of instances, whether in whichever field all of us are, we can always have it. We will come out of it. We may have problems at home, we may have problems in the workplace, whatever it is. When much later, when she was asked, how did you overcome the supreme great responsibility? People could have succumbed to it. He says it's Vedanta. Vedanta did not tell me to quit. Mark the words. Ramya made it very clear. The essence of Vedanta, she put it in modern language to all of us. She said, Vedanta did not tell me to quit the world, did not ask me to quit the job or the responsibility. It just taught me that I should not collapse at any cost. Moment this message was given to her, she stood as an example because Vedanta gives us a lot of messages right from what Shankara spoke and today what we see it, and there are so many Vedanta great speakers, great forums are established. So many types of people talk about it and interpret it. The common silk or a golden thread that connects all of them are the messages that all of us are very important. We have come with a purpose. We have got something more to contribute to others. We can be more compassionate. We can be more seeking responsibility, not running away from situations. And we have to give space to others to grow. There could be a cutthroat competition, doesn't matter. If somebody is growing well, somebody, even at home, in relationship, somebody is doing very well, instead of feeling jealous and greed about it, can we acknowledge, appreciate, and tell them that you are doing so well? What can I do for that in order to make you grow? In doing so, actually, both of them grow, whether it is children, whether students, whether in the corporate world, our co-colleagues, our co-workers, with all of them, we will be seeing this. That enormous and simple lesson is not something very so easy that we can discard it or forget it. Rather, it can become the greatest lessons that we can anchor ourselves every day. Every day we have to anchor it. We have to take a dip into the scriptures every day so that we are able to cleanse our mind, cleanse our thought, cleanse our speech, and thereby cleanse our actions. Definitely, as Shankara says, all of us will become dhanya. We shall become blessed. And there is no doubt about it. And therefore, if Krishna's message to us as a powerful Vedantic tool that he has told, Ye yadha mam pratyam tathaaiva sajamyaham. Let in any form you come to me, I shall protect you. Whether it is Ishvara Pranidhana, whether it is a surrender unto Lord, whether it is self-inquiry or Atma Vichara, the way Ramana went into a path, or the way Vivekananda went into it in the path of aggressive karma yogi. In any path we take it, Vedanta stands as a strong pillar where all of us can take surrender into it. Dhanyasmi. Thank you so much for a patient listening.
Thank you so much, madam, for the inspiring and illuminating lecture. Now, I request Dr. Girish Bijani, Director, Bhavan's PG and Research Department, to say a few words. Please, sir.
नमस्सभाभ्य सभापतिभ्य वो नमो नमः डॉक्टर उमा माहेश्वरी शंकर जी heartily expressing your gratitude, your extreme for and just words of immortality being shouted to us on this day at Bharati Vidya Bhavan, of which the motto is Amritam Tarun. Our Munshi ji had envisioned that this institute shall be with satsanga and bhashan of those noble beings who have dedicated their whole life for such noble activities. I am expressing gratefulness to you for accepting our invitation. I remember the legacy of Guru Parampara for both the sides. I remember Professor Upadhyay ji, Professor Jayant Krishna ji, and his interaction with your Guru Ramesh Dave ji, Dr. Ramesh M. Dave, and his orations combining great learning from Occidental and Oriental lines in the same way you are having your voyage over this oceanic traveling of our Madhu Vidya. I am very happy to be present here at your oration because what you have lived to till this moment you have spoken. There was nothing to be prepared on your side, I can assure. I have been at Bharati Vidya Bhavan since my studentship from the 80 onwards, and I have seen that this institute has remained fortunate to have scholars like you. And it is just because of that only whatever this institution has been able to do in this chosen field of propagation of the knowledge, it has been successful because gurus and vidwans, vidushaha, these are the real personality of the knowledge. And because of their grace, because of their willingness, and because of their saying yes to all such activities, any execution of any noble institute can take place. And as far as the topic of your oration is considered, everything we do is nothing but striving hard to realize that the super reality is actually it is the only thing. Wherever Guru is addressing that Tattvamasi or think that Aham Brahma Asmi, he is also indirectly requesting the disciple that is slowly and gradually you have also dropped the idea of becoming a person who is listening in the second person and also to think that first person asmi because the brahm is neither asi nor asmi, it is just a game of communication. Even what Brahman itself suggests that it is ever expanding. Expanding in what? Expanding in what measurement? It is only our incapability of thinking. Whenever we are gradually growing further and we are realizing, oh, it is not so, not it. It is greater than this what we have thought. Previously, last century, we thought that matter and energy. Now came to know that neither matter, not energy. Then electromagnetic field, then waves, then came to know that light doesn't travel at all.
What all?
So all these things, Brahma in real sense of the term has nothing to do with the word even Brahma. All the Shastras, when Acharya himself is announcing the Guru, what to speak about Mata and Pita and student,
True.
even he is wiping out the notion of Guru. The Guru na Shishya and Mahabharata, ye na tyajati tat tyaja, with the help of which you are able to eradicate all these false notions, then you will have to also keep that aside. So I am expressing my sheer joy in expressing my thankfulness to our higher authorities, Sri Dasturji, Executive Secretary Jagdish Lakhani ji, both of my colleagues Dr. Iyer and Dr. Trivedi, and all the members of Kala Kendra, and all the listeners and participants of this Sangha. I can say that Deva Hitam Yad Ayuhu. Whatever we are doing is nothing but we are in the line of the pursuit of the object of the Veda. Objective of Veda is Vedanta. Vedanta is not mere Upanishad. That what will you talk about Isha Upanishad, which is a part and parcel of Samhita, Veda itself. So Vedanta is objective of every noble mantra realized by the noble souls in different kalpas. The supreme knowledge above the supreme reality is one and the same. People came, people went, people preached, people got enlightened. And getting enlightened in this particular line is nothing but to realizing that nothing is real. The realizer realizes that otherwise Maharaj would have used the word Satyanrute Mithuni Kritya. He is using the word Satya and Anrita. He is talking about Tamah Prakashan, the oppositeness of the duality. And I am very happy that this is the path of spiritual pursuit and how it has been strengthened by professors like you, who are, in my terminology, are the monks in the uniforms of preceptors at the universities and colleges. They are engrossed in the noble act of propagating the knowledge of all levels, the mundane and the spiritual, and also showing the way how you should remain steadfast. We were talking about titiksha, far away. What to speak about endurance? Tyaktum ichhati titikshate. He is very much in a mood of abandoning everything before either sukh or dukh reaches him. Even before anything reaches him, he is in the mood of titiksha. Titiksha is the requirement. Uparati is the requirement. And the teachers like you having this line of Shraddhiya and Nishtha in this supreme knowledge, Brahmanishtata, we are beholden with your grace and your oration. This is for us a treasure, madam. We pray for your long, healthy life and such good oration and basis. God bless you. Om Namah Shivaya. God bless you. Thank you very much. course of Tirtha Yatra has been set by the higher plane deities, but they have also decided that Devanitam Vedayo.